How can every single device on the network have a different public IP? I'm at a computer camp, and I noticed that every single device connected to the network has a different public IP, which really surprised me. What is even more strange is that their public IPs are exactly the same as their private IP4 addresses. How is this possible?
They own an IP range, and are using the range to directly connect to WAN, Internet, instead of hiding behind NAT, Network Address Translation. Basically, NAT was made for environments lacking enough public IP addresses for all the machines in the network, so all of them can hide behind a pool of one or more public IP addresses. If you got at least one public IP address per machine, then using NAT is a matter of choice.
Back in the old days, before the public internet came into being in 1991, technologies like NAT were not common, and most operators did not use RFC 1918 addresses. They didn't divide the internet into public and private spaces as they commonly do today. In the early days, companies grabbed huge blocks of public IPs by reserving entire /8 networks, consisting of 16,777,216 discrete addresses each. The U.S. Department of Defense owns 13 such blocks. See here for well-known owners of /8 blocks, this URL. It's been many years since blocks of that size have been available to new registrants, due to IP4 address space depletion, so technologies like NAT and RFC 1918 networks were required to limit the number of public IPs necessary for network access. Large organizations, however, still hold their blocks, so they are free to use them themselves or rent them out to others.
This is how the internet is supposed to work. People started using private address ranges and NAT because the number of spare IP addresses started to get used up. And then people found that using NAT was easier than using a proper firewall, despite it not really being for that. If you can get the IP addresses and configure a proper firewall as required, then this is a perfectly good way to work. With IP6 it will hopefully become more common.
Their only limit in the number of IP addresses they own. The public addresses are most likely configured in their router and routed based on the local addresses. Because of IP4 address shortage, it is indeed unusual to waste so many public addresses, but I suspect they probably split the load between them for network performance and security reasons. This could be managed through the router's routing table or firewall rules, or a combination of both. In certain network designs, the public IP used can actually change over time.
Subscribe.